So I was having this conversation about leadership, and this friend of mine is going to do a leadership retreat. Um, I'm not into these immersions and stuff like that, but the thing is, I think it's going to happen in Bali. So it changed completely the whole process, and I just was thinking to myself that I think I enjoy immersions, and and so because we keep telling things to ourselves that I like that because, and you go find some way to accept that you want that, but you are always trying to avoid that. But I think that I need an immersion in Bali. That's the whole process I was thinking about. Andre, nice to have you here. And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, so we were thinking in a different direction, but when I heard about the leadership retreat, I was thinking, let's start with the leadership thing. So how a dev, a coder, starts to think about leadership and starts actually wants to work full time with leadership and helping teams to strive and
Mm,
deliver more and do their best. So
yeah.
glad you are here to talk to us about these topics, and just tell where you are right now, which is Bali. But yeah,
Yeah.
like little envy about that, but that's okay. But tell us more about your process, your leadership process, and let's start with that.
Yeah. Well, let me take a step back and tell you how I first thought about having this. It was through um, working with teams and organizations, both as a Scrum Master and an Agile coach, and then seeing how much teams struggle, not just because of bad management and bad leadership, but because of bad systems, bad environments. A friend of mine once told me that a system is always produces what was designed to do. The problem is, has it been intentionally designed or not designed at all? Right? So if you're in that leadership position, can you influence the design of the systems around you so that you create an environment, a team that is impossible not to grow? It's impossible because the system was designed that way. Right? So it was seeing that struggle that people had, that it made me want to create this immersion program. And I specifically wanted to do one a few days of immersion and outside concrete jungles to exactly take people away of their contexts. And this was inspired by a few very transformational trainings that I took and helped me with my own journey, and how this system of getting some people that want to grow the same way, have them in the same place at the same time, committed to the same goal, learning to the same process, and of course, collaborating the learning, discussing, crystallizing the knowledge that they had together. I think it's a very powerful thing. And this is what I want to give, because I see that through my now 7 years of working with teams and organizations, I feel that this is an area that, one, there's a big gap, and I can add value.
For sure. Yeah. And we were talking before about psychological safety and how that is a topic most of the times you can't talk about that. So it's not,
Yeah,
we don't do that here. We
yeah,
are strong white man. And there's a lot of in Brazil. This is a huge topic because um, you have more than a half of the population in Brazil is black, and we are still one of the most racist countries in the world. And when you end up talking to teams about that, you think um, most of the leaders we have, they are. inspiration is about the Rocky Balboa resilient
Mhm.
mode. Like you have to keep moving forward. And I say that you don't. You actually don't. You should have yourself a journal, and you should write about what are you feeling right now. You could start with that. Therapy would be a second step
Yeah.
into that process, but most of the people I know which are in leadership positions, they don't want to know more about themselves. They think they are enough. I know enough about myself. I know myself. No, you don't. You
Yeah.
never know yourself enough. And how you saw that topic, psychological safety, from where you were working with in United States and other countries around the world.
It's if a team, a manager, leader, they never did anything to create psychological safety, there's no psychological safety. You just expect, no, my team is good, we work well together. Yeah, but have you had a heart to heart with them? Uh, if you haven't put thought and effort into the system, then there's no psychology. Maybe some people are more outspoken, but maybe they already know that there will be, if, because maybe they're always the outspoken one, so the management knows, like, oh, just let him talk or let her talk, right? But in general speaking, there's no psychological safety. And exactly when you start building those seeds and you start seeing how these team members are feeling about it, and you start hearing these things, and when you start uncovering those feelings and how they feel about being in the team and how they feel about their own involvement and contribution in the team, then you see that there's a whole a lot of opportunity for growth there. And the one of the benefits is the team. The output of the team is going to improve because of those things that are being talked about. And I
Nice.
think it's one of the main, whenever I come in a team, is one of the first things I start talking about. I do one-on-ones with the team members, seeing how they, you get a sense of how they feel about sharing and so on, um, and then you can start running some ideas, some activities to see how can we start improving that. So this is the first thing, one of the first things I do when I come to a new team, start
Very nice.
understanding that. Yeah.
I was trying to remember when I first talked, listen about psychological safety. I think it was back in 2015, I guess. And the term was not psychological safety; it was a term called engineering, because Joshua Kirievsky, the guy from Modern Agile,
Mm.
he always likes to think about difficult terms for people to understand, I guess. So engineering, he thought it was a good term to people to understand about psychological safety, but actually it was not. But I remember that term, and after that he went to the Modern Agile, and the safety was there. So
Yeah.
it is a good completion of the process, I guess. Um, but at that time, the discussion was about, are you able to listen to other people? Are you have an environment where people can talk about what they think? And the people used to think about that as, I can tell anything I want. No, it's not about that. Can you tell about how are you feeling about a situation where you are not feeling responded, or you need help? Can you tell people about that? No, we have an HR person. No, it's not about the HR person, because usually there's one person for the whole company.
Yeah.
They need to do payroll, they need to do all the other things, and you want them to listen to you. They don't want to listen to you. So during the process, I discovered a person called Claude Silver. She works in a company called Vayner Media, and she called herself the Chief Heart Officer.
Mm.
And there's this quote from her, which is, "People need people to listen." And I was thinking about, well, I could build these networks where people are able to listen to other people, and kind of a safety network where they can work together, and I can help you, you can help other people, and we, you know, which is cool. I said that's easy. I thought at first, like, I have these colleagues that they work together, they like to work together, so it's gonna be easy for them to listen to themselves. They don't want to listen to themselves. They don't want to listen to each other. And
Yeah.
the whole process was, I started with technical feedbacks. Start giving technical feedbacks, and after start telling the people how you feel about their work. Like, and then the process start, the needle start moving. Like,
Yeah.
they started telling, oh, that person is not feeling well this week. You should talk to them. I said, okay, nice. So you start seeing little changes, tweaks in the process, that people are starting to listen more about the other person and how they are feeling, and how the working is getting done, not only task done, but emotionally, I'm drowning myself here, or I'm
Yeah.
striving, or having progress. So it's a whole different level when you get that in a team. It gets you much
Yeah.
stronger.
No, I love that you mentioned heart, because I'm going to focus a lot on the training I'm putting together on the heart. There's two comments to make. I remember a colleague of mine, he mentioned, and we were talking about the idea of calling people resources, right? How that is a terrible word to use because or you expect people to be professional. That means like you come to work, you're supposed to stop being a human being, be professional, be a resource that do what you were hired to do, and then your humanity just left at the door, which is a terrible way to do things.
Yeah,
And a colleague of mine was saying that more terminology, when you talk about head counts. My colleague was saying there's a company that talks about heart counts, and
very nice.
you start flipping the vocabulary. A lot of companies, they don't have human resources anymore, they have a people and culture department.
Nice.
Right, you start slowly doing these transitions, you get rid of the vocabulary that came from a culture of, no, I'm hiring people and I'm telling them what to do.
Which
And
is, yeah, I see you. Yeah, this in extreme programming we talk about the metaphors,
mm,
which is one of the most important disciplines we have, is define the metaphors we are going to talk about during the project or as a team. What are the words that define what we do, and what fast means, what slow means, what quick means, and every single word, which one is our definition. And for sure, if you use the word resources, we were talking about this and that. If you want to talk about people, use person, use, um, so this is kind of very, very, very important at the beginning. Like, it could be something that as the should be something as the corporate culture,
yeah,
but usually I work in places where the resources was everywhere. So I used to do that in a team level, let's say that. So we call ourselves by name, not by role or tag name or something like that. We call ourselves by name, and we need help from that person. You should know who you want you to help you. I need a dev to help me. No, you who you want to help you.
yeah,
Say a name, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, very nice, very nice. Um, one of the things about psychological safety I want to bring together here is that I used to think about that horizontal teams was the go-to decision. Like, the problem with teams is hierarchy. We get rid of them. That's okay, but Later on, I discovered that the issue is about trust and psychological safety. That is
Mm.
the whole process. You can have like a four different levels of directors and coordination and stuff. If you have trust and safety, you're gonna be fine. But if you don't have that, doesn't matter if it's horizontal, highly vertical,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's the role of the leader to build the psychological safety for their teams. And the higher you go, you should own the entire pyramid. Okay, maybe you create psychological safety for your direct reports, but then you make sure that they create psychological safety to their reports until the all the teams
Yeah.
feel that way as well. So the higher you go, the higher is the responsibility to build that psychological safety within the team.
I once was in a team where I thought that this process was happening, and we had a big issue in the project, and the message was, let's fire someone to send a message.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, unexpected. At the time, I was having like a candy, and I was like, I would start, coughing, I almost died at the time, like,
Mm.
give me water. And I was like, what you're saying, man? Tipo, what's happening here? Like,
Yeah.
I could do that, but that's not going to be needed. We are going to solve the issue, but I don't remember if I went back to that person and said, "What are you doing?" So
Mm.
at that moment, when that phrase was said, I looked at the values on the wall and I said, not real values,
Yeah.
because the top person in the pyramid is not giving a damn about them. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I will do my job, and I know my time here is going to finish soon.
Yeah.
you know,
And
it's,
then let me put a question to you. And I know that you're having questions for me, but I want to flip the table. What is your, if I had to ask you to define leadership, well, how would you define it?
I I'll give you a quick story. I was 19 years old. I went to an event from IESEC. Remember that institution
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
send people abroad to internships. And I was thinking myself to go to internship abroad. And there was this person sit besides me, and I have to go, so you can keep my number. It's going to be some kind of a prize at the end. And that person gave me her number, and I was selected. So I was invited to become a professional from the future, was the name of the training, something like that.
Mm.
And I went there. I was the youngest person in the room. um, I did the thing, and they called me after and said, what a great leader you are. You were the best. And I was like, what the fuck have I done? I don't know what you're talking about. And they start telling me things I did during the exercises and the mediations I did and stuff I did. I was like, well, hmm, maybe I'm a leader. So um, the basic thing for me is, you want to solve the problem, and you don't want to miss anyone in the process, which is the hardest thing to do. Like, I don't
Mm.
want to left anyone out. I want everybody to go in the process. So um, along the years, I it was for myself, not because I was trying to become a better leader, but I went to neurolinguistics programming. I
Mm.
went to nonviolent communication, and things that try to improve the introvert way of communication I have as a default. So But the basic thing is I want to solve problems, and I don't want anyone to die in the process.
Mm.
So those are kind of my principles when I think about leadership. It's like, but I have one other thing to tell you about. There's this book from Henry Mintzberg, which is called Managing. Is In this book he gives lots of management styles, and my style is the missionary.
Mm.
Is people follow me, and when I understood that, I was like, I have to do this wisely because I can make people jump off a bridge if they jump off this bridge and they go with me. I have to go too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
go first and they follow. So I use that wisely because I
Mm.
understand when I have that connection with a team. It's not but I know that I can build that connection with a team, and I have to understand what I need to do. But the most important thing was to understand the way I lead and don't go against that. Which is in my case, there are lots of things that leaders should do that I'm unable to do. So I have other people in my team that are
Mm.
able to do those things.
So you're good in
So
delegation.
it's delegation, but it's more than that. I I tell people I don't know how to do that.
Mm.
I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah,
And they say, well, I want to grow in this process. You go.
yeah,
You're gonna be the expert in this position. So um, this has helped me a lot in this 20 plus years in working in projects and stuff.
yeah, yeah. No,
What about you?
thanks.
What about
Thanks
you?
for sharing. I want to share a story as well. I recently started mentoring someone in Singapore on leadership, and I asked her why you want to learn about this. Like, oh, because I want to open my own shop and I want to hire people and I want to make sure they do what I tell them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So, well, we started already in the wrong foot. Think about that person joining your team, right? If you're only telling them what to do and they need to do it, they'll do it because you're paying the salary, right? But think about when you started something like why would you start an internship? You started in a junior. You wanna learn things, right? So what were your best managers, your best team leaders back when you were a junior? Were the ones that gave you guidance, gave you opportunities to learn and to grow. So think about it this way. It's not just you telling them what to do, is you're making sure that they are learning in the process. And while they learn the process, then they're going to be a little more engaged. And the second level would be now that you're not just guiding them, but you're also observing how they're doing and you're listening to what they're saying so that now they feel being taken care of. I was like, oh, Daniel is a great leader because like I feel heard. I feel that he cares about my growth. He cares about me being there. And then there's the next level, which would be not just you're growing and learning, but and I think these you fit this, which is the visionary, the missionary, like I said, like you are so passionate about what you're building, and you imbue this person with the same passion that you have. You share them your vision, you share them your passion and why you're doing it. And if they are in the same boat as you, if they're as passionate as you to make this vision a reality, then you don't need to tell them anything. They'll just do the right thing. This is when you can step out, go for a vacation, and you know that the house is not going to burn because now they are in it for the vision. They're in it for the purpose. And yeah, for me, there's like a few levels of leadership that you can go and you can
Okay.
gather people around you.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, our time is is coming into the the end here, and I love this conversation. You know that I prefer myself in English.
Oh yeah.
I'm more an extrovert in English. I'm not.
Nice. You
It's
can play a role.
it's strange, but I guess it's too many Seinfeld episodes and too many hours watching NBA. So
Uh,
I guess this brings me to like a broadcaster level. So there he
nice.
goes, and then like that. And but very nice to talk to you, Andre. And
So nice.
yeah,
No,
I'm gonna
and
leave
again,
in the description. I'm gonna leave website, your people, so people can talk to you. And I'm gonna send this conversation to some people I know that gonna take vacations just to go to the leadership retreat. And you know, it's a deal. I have to go there someday. Yeah, I
there you
have.
go. No, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk to you twice, and the invitation is now open for us to make this a more maybe even regular thing.
Yeah.
But I would like to end this call and this conversation to share with your listeners one of my favorite quotes about leadership.
Oh,
So it goes like this: when I'm talking to a manager, I have the feeling that they are really important. When I'm talking to a leader, I have a feeling that I am really important.
nice. Yeah, this is like a wall. Like let's put
Yeah.
it this on a wall. Like if you're feeling really respected, that's gonna be happening. Yeah, very nice. Whoa. Yeah. So how now if you are listening to us here, you're gonna get in contact with Andre and let him know that you listen to this talk, this conversation, and ask him how to go to Bali. That's the process. Yeah, very nice. Nice to see you, Andre, and let's have a nice life. That's very
There you
good.
go.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.